What if the real target was never your body or even your mind, but your soul? Leaked footage from the World Economic Forum in Davos has blown the lid of a conversation the elite were desperate to stop the public from ever hearing. An agenda they admit aims to delete the God gene and destroy our ability to experience spirituality, exercise free will, and resist total compliance. Not by decree or crackdown, but by a silent campaign of chemtrails overhead and vaccines flowing through your bloodstream. This isn't speculation, this is leaked footage, and it slipped out. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. The history books, if they're written honestly, will remember chemtrails as one of the most deceitful and damaging operations ever carried out by governments against their own people. For years they mocked us, they gaslit the public, they labelled the truth as a conspiracy theory. But now, the veil is lifting. Their operations have become so blatant, so desperate, that denial is no longer an option for anybody paying attention. And in 2026, the evil overlords at Davos are letting the truth slip out between sips of champagne. They're spraying the public. They even use the word chemtrails. And they're spraying them for a very specific purpose. And surprise, surprise, climate change is just the lie they are selling the public. James O'Keefe just got undercover footage at the WF Summit in Davos, and it's damning.
We talked to this one Swedish guy who said absolutely fantastic.
So we invest in these technologies to assist with the warming climate, and the effect of sulfur dioxide in the atmosphere will help block some of the warming, and the particles stay in the air for 1 year. So, and actually we're speaking to some of the airplane manufacturers and to see if they can emit some of our technology into the atmosphere to help with the global warming. That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, climate. I mean, we don't like to use the term climate engineering. It scares people, so we prefer.
Yes, but it's but for me, being an engineer, I think that's actually what you do. It's like
yes.
You can have financial engineering, you can have, I'm sure, climate engineering, because it involves something that's more scientific.
Yes, exactly. You're an engineer, you understand. It's from Sweden, right?
Yeah.
So we don't like to call them chemtrails. We don't like to use this.
So what do you call it instead?
Well, we call it aerosol injection. Aerosol. It's kind of like little droplets.
Okay.
And the droplets form in the air, and they stay there for a year.
Yeah.
It's modeled kind of a mini volcanic eruption, actually.
Yeah. I mean, aviation fuels have some sulfur in them, so it creates some sulfur dioxide emissions naturally, and that does have a cooling effect.
Now this guy, Kennedy Ritchie, who runs a company called 4Air, spoke on stage, and he says on his website that he wants to, quote, decarbonize the aviation industry. He actually told me he was trying to eliminate contrails entirely, but then brought up cloud seeding.
A lot of the work actually came out of the military, so they do this all the time.
Have you worked with them at all?
No, because they're a little more closed door about their procedures.
You ever heard of sulfur dioxide?
Yeah.
You've heard of that? Okay. Yeah.
It's actually pretty cheap to do it. The ability to put sulfur dioxide there is actually a pretty cheap way to cool down the earth.
Oh, yeah.
So the opportunity for one or two people to do it is impressive. He went a little further. He's like, it'd be interesting if the government start doing this over each other's territories on purpose. Like if we start getting weather modification as a government, either good or bad.
Yeah, I would say.
I don't want aluminum oxides in my lettuce. Are you kidding me?
Say that again?
Aluminum oxides.
Aluminum oxides are part of the cocktail from hell that they're spraying above our heads.
Yes.
As WF insiders quietly admitted their horror at the chemtrail warfare being unleashed on the public, Yuval Noah Harari took the microphone and revealed the blueprint. Not in secret, not in code, but in plain sight. Chemtrails, vaccines, a redesigned humanity, without religion or spirituality, sold as progress by the same elite poisoning the well. Known as the prophet of Davos, Harari famously declared that God is dead and Jesus is fake news. Now he's doubling down on the sacrilege, declaring that AI will take control and merge Christianity and Islam into a one-world religion that he calls Chrislam.
Do you know? As far as putting words in order is concerned, AI already thinks better than many of us. Therefore, anything made of words will be taken over by AI. If laws are made of words, then AI will take over the legal system. If books are just combinations of words, then AI will take over books. If religion is built from words, then AI will take over religion. This is particularly true of religions based on books, like Islam, Christianity, or Judaism. Judaism calls itself the religion of the book, and it grants ultimate authority not to humans, but to words in books. Humans have authority in Judaism not because of our experiences, but only because we learn words in books. Now, no human can read and remember all the words in all the Jewish books, but AI can easily do that. What happens to a religion of the book when the greatest expert on the holy book is an AI?
What should terrify you isn't the technology, it's the intent. For at least 25 years, DARPA intelligence agencies and the global elites have pursued a single experiment, removing God from the human experience. They call it deleting the God gene. How do we know? Because somebody recorded the conversation. They buried it. It stayed alive. And now you're about to hear it, after this important word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America has skyrocketed, and there are certain medicines Big Pharma don't want you to know about. That's why I've partnered with pillsforever.com. All of their FDA-approved medicines are the cheapest you'll find anywhere. More importantly, you can order medicines that Big Pharma don't want you to have, such as ivermectin, weight loss and diabetes medication, hydroxychloroquine, and fenbendazole. Speaking of fenbendazole, not only does it get rid of parasites that live inside your body, there have been studies that show fenbendazole can help with cancer. Listen to this testimony of Joe Tippins, a cancer survivor, thanks to fenbendazole.
2 years ago, Joe Tippins says he was told to go home, call hospice, and say his goodbyes. The doctors were unanimous. He was going to die of small cell lung cancer.
Once that kind of cancer goes that far afield, the odds of survival are less than 1%, and the median life expectancy is 3 months.
Tippins says he got a tip, not from a pharmacist, but a veterinarian. And in his desperation, he turned from people medicine to dog medicine. Specifically, fenbendazole.
My insurance company spent $1.2 million on me with traditional means before I switched to a $5 a week medicine that actually saved me.
Get 15% off using coupon code People's Voice at the checkout. Please click the link below this video to take advantage of this fantastic offer. This is where it gets really dark and deeply spiritual. A disturbing research paper published on ResearchGate in 2023 revealed a Department of Defense-funded program aimed at suppressing the VMAT2 gene, what some scientists have called the God gene. A testimony by a US bioweapons scientist cited in the research outlined a DARPA program designed to do the unthinkable, erase humanity's connection to the divine. Through vaccines and aerosolized chemtrail deployment, DARPA, allied agencies, and the Gates Foundation have been working on a technology aimed at neutralizing spiritual inclinations, targeting the so-called God gene, VMAT2. The goal? Not public health, not disease prevention. The real objective is spiritual warfare.
Excuse me, on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide. Here we have two brain scans. These are fMRIs. These are two different individuals with different levels of expression of VMAT2. On top is an individual who's a religious fanatic, an individual, and we've repeated this numerous times, that has high levels of VMAT2. Virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses such as flu or rhinoviruses, and we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses, and we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
Look around. People are lost, spiritually hollowed out, disconnected from anything real. The divine spark that once guided humanity, flickering, fading. Why? Because this isn't just cultural decay, it's coordinated and engineered. A spiritual attack from all angles, including from the sky. For years they called it a conspiracy theory. Now they admit it. The skies are being sprayed. Chemtrails, geoengineering, solar radiation management. Call it what you want. But it's not just about the weather. It never was.
You start with a fleet of modified business jets and say 20,000 tons of sulfuric acid into the stratosphere every year. And each year you have to put a little more. And this doesn't, in the long run, mean that you can forget about cutting emissions. We will need to rein in.
No, we'll get to it eventually. In the meantime, we're shrouding the earth in sulfuric acid.
So people are terrified about talking about this because they're scared that it will prevent us cutting emissions.
Right, and also that it's sulfuric acid.
We put 50 million tons of sulfuric acid in the air now as pollution, and it kills 1 million people a year worldwide.
Okay, but it'll be better if we put more in.
We're talking about 1% of that.
1% more, we're just killing 10,000 more people.
You can do math.
What happens to the sulfuric acid after it's sprayed? Does it just stay up there?
No, it rains down,
Okay.
but it's a tiny addition to what we're already doing.
Is there any possible way this could come back to bite us in the end?
It actually turns out to be an old idea. This was
Really?
known since President Johnson.
You ever look at those planes up there? They have contrails behind them. Maybe all those planes with the contrails, maybe they're actually spraying chemicals into the atmosphere right now, and Uncle Sam isn't telling us.
Seems extremely unlikely.
That the United States is not telling something to its citizens?
Depopulation and spiritual annihilation. Those are the twin objectives. The holy grail of a psychopathic global elite. And they're betting that with Trump back in the White House, we will relax, look away, and stop paying attention. Don't fall for the possum act. Nothing has changed. They're just as deranged, and just as dangerous as ever. And it doesn't stop at compliance. The end goal is to erase your ability to refuse, to make resistance impossible before you even feel it. The World Economic Forum hasn't just penetrated cabinets and controlled governments, it's embedded itself into the tools people trust to stay private. Even Proton, the so-called privacy VPN, funded and controlled by the WEF. Israel has bought up most of the other popular VPNs, including ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Nord, and private internet access. That's why we're revealing the first trustless VPN, VP.net. Built last year so that even if it wanted to spy on you, it couldn't. Even if the feds came knocking, they'll walk away empty-handed. It's built inside a secure enclave, uses military-grade encryption and stores zero data. Yes, really, zero zilch nada. And here's the best part. It's 100% American-owned. No Mossad backdoors, no feds rifling through your DMs. Sign up today at vp.net/TPV, and you can finally stop asking who's monitoring me, because the answer is they were, but with vp.net, not anymore.